In this tutorial we are going to learn about the basics of data analysis by using pandas module in Python. We're gonna do this via whole process in the Jupyter notebook, and I'm going to use the dataset from the Kaggle website. This website contains a lot of dataset. I'm going to use the stroke prediction dataset by Ferresoriano. So this has a usability of 10. So this means it is very easy to manipulate and use the data for your own purpose. So firstly we're going to begin by installing the Jupyter notebook. If you haven't already installed it, open up your terminal, write install pip install book. So the version of pip depends on the version of Python you have installed in a system. So currently my Python version is 3, so I write pip 3. You should write pip and the version of Python according to your Python version that is installed in your system right now. Okay, so I have already installed the pip notebook, Jupyter notebook. So this happens instantaneously in my system. It might not happen instantaneously for you. So firstly install the notebook. Now for starting the notebook, python 3-m notebook. Notebook is gonna start in the default web browser. So it's starting. Okay, the notebook has started. I have created a folder. This is the CSV file that I'm gonna be using, that I downloaded from this Kaggle website. Okay, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna create a new file. So let's begin this one. So firstly that I'm gonna do now is import necessary modules and libraries. So for this one I'm gonna use pandas as PD. So there is as PD serves no purpose in the processing of anything, but it serves as an alias for pandas. So whenever you write PD, instance of pandas module gets started in the statement that you're typing. So I'm gonna write a comment here. So actually I'm not gonna write the comment right now. So if you want to find the file, then I'm gonna be uploading this to my GitHub. You can find this file there. So firstly we're gonna import the data from this CSV file. So firstly we're gonna create a variable. I'm gonna create a variable dat. We're gonna import file by using pd.read CSV. Read CSV. So what this actually does is reads the content of the file. File is stroke.csv. So now what this actually does is the content of stroke.csv gets stored in the dat variable. So if you have any other file, like for example Excel file, for that you can write xlsx, simple, right? So CSV. Now the file has been loaded in the dat variable. Let's check it. Okay, you can see here the file is loaded and the file is ready to be operated upon. Now dat acts as the data frame for the file, so you can use this variable to perform actions on the file. Let's begin. So firstly we're gonna do is we're gonna describe the file. Okay, dot describe. So what this function actually does is what this function actually does is we can find count, mean. The mean is the average, arithmetic average, standard deviation, minimum value, 25%, 50%, 70%. They are the percentile values. We also know them as quartiles: first quartile, second quartile, third quartile in the statistical language. This is the maximum value. So this is the numerical analysis basic numerical analysis of the variables that are present in the columns of this file. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna find the data. We're gonna sort the data from top or from the bottom. So for that we're gonna write head, and we're gonna specify how many columns, how many rows we need. So for this very example I'm gonna write 10. What we get here is top 10 values from the top, right? Similarly for the tail, we get bottom 10 values. Okay, as simple as that. It's very similar commands. So what we do next is we're gonna see the columns. So these are all the columns that are present. Columns we also known as data heads. Columns the same thing, right? These are all the columns. And next thing we're gonna do is info. These are all the things that you need to do as soon as you import the data into a variable. So you get to know the data. So we got 11 columns, and we got the data type integer, object, float. These are all the data types corresponding to the respective columns in the file. Next thing we're gonna do is values, right? So values are basically the data other than the head. This is known as the head, while these are known as the values, right? So values shows the value in array format. And you can also see the data type. So the next thing you're gonna do is the shape. Okay, the shape. So we can see here contains this amount of rows and this amount of columns. This gives us the basic idea of how large is the file, or how large is the data frame that we're gonna operate upon, right? And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find out the data types that are being used in the data frame that we're using. .D types is the command for this one. So the same thing that we got earlier, got info. This shows the necessary extra information along with the data types, but this one gives only the data types. So same thing, but extra information you get with the info. And this is the attribute, while info is the function. So that's the difference between the D types and the info. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna subset or sort the data frame. Subset the, so firstly we're gonna do single column of data. Okay, so for the single column, this is not very difficult. We use DAT, that's our data frame, dot sort values. This is our function. We're going to use sort values function. We're going to type in the column. So for this one I'm gonna sort the, okay, let's see what we're gonna actually sort. We're gonna sort the average glucose level, and copy this average glucose level, and we're gonna sort it in ascending order. So ascending is equal to true. Let's see. So we got average glucose level starting from the minimum going to the maximum, right? So if you want to do the opposite and set it in descending order, just type your false. So many of you might be going and writing a descending, descending, sorry, descending. So this is not how it actually works. So it only takes it has an attribute called ascending. Sort values function has an attribute called ascending. So if you write ascending is equals true, it is the ascending order. Ascending equals false, it is the descending order. So it is a boolean function, right? Okay, ascending is called false. It starts with the maximum values and goes down to the minimum value. So this is how it actually works. So this is how we subset a single column. So let's subset multiple columns. Multiple columns, okay. Multiple columns, okay. Got an error. So the same process. Sort values. Type in our, okay, let's take the BMI, that is body mass index, right? For this one we have to do this in multiple braces, because the inner brackets create a list of columns named to subset, whereas the outer brackets subset the row or the data frame. So this is necessary to keep multiple braces here. Okay, got BMI. For the second one we got smoking status. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one is not actually necessary. So we got only 2 columns, right? This is how we get subset multiple columns. So for this video, for this tutorial, I'm gonna stop here. If you want to find this file, you can check my GitHub. Gonna find this file with a full comment and everything. So for further tutorials, check out, keep posting. Thank you.